Hey guys, it's Libby and oh my god, cramathon time! This is maybe my favorite readathon of the year. I also quite like Dewey's 24-hour readathon, but I just sort of treat cramathon like 4 consecutive Dewey's 24-hour readathon with slightly more sleep. So this is a readathon that was created by Whitney from Witty Novels. I will leave a link to her announcement video down in the doobly-doo. And the spirit of it is to read a whole bunch of short things as quickly as possible so that you can finish your Goodreads challenge, because you're probably behind by now. I'm actually not behind, I'm exactly on track. I have to read 6 more things before the end of the year to hit my goal of 100 books, and that should be fine because I have 16 things on the cramathon TBR. That's a little ambitious for 4 days, but during the summer I read 9 books during the cramathon, and I didn't even really read anything the last day, and a bunch of these are really short things. So there are some challenges for the cramathon. I'm sort of coincidentally meeting some of them, but that's not really my goal. My goal is to read as many things as I can in a 4-day span. Oh, did I mention that it's running from the 19th to the 22nd? I probably should have done that. I'm bad at organization. So the challenges are as follows: to read an audiobook or ebook, read an audiobook, read a bind-up, finish off a series, read a book that's under 200 pages, finish a book that you DNF'd earlier, and read a graphic novel series, or just a graphic novel, or just as many graphic novels as possible. All the graphic novels. I think I am actually going to be hitting all of these except for the finish a book that you DNF'd, because I DNF things with great purpose. And I think everything I've DNF'd so far this year I've already gotten rid of. I don't just sort of casually get bored with a book and put it down. I actively have a problem with it, and that is why I stopped reading it. So let's take a look at the things I'm going to be reading this cramathon. First, I'm going to be reading 3 short stories that are sort of companions to the Grisha trilogy. There are more, but I've only read the first book of the trilogy, so I'm not going to skip ahead, even though I don't think it really matters. So the first Grisha short story that I'm reading is called The Demon in the Woods, and it is the backstory of the Darkling, set before Shadow and Bone takes place. Obviously, that's what backstory means. And then the other 2 are The Witch of Duva and The Tailor, which I don't think are actually related to the plot and the characters of the Grisha trilogy, but they are fairy tales that are set, the fairy tales of Ravka, where all of this is going on. And so I think it will sort of lend a nice background ambiance to books. Then I'm going to read another short story novella. I'm not really sure how many pages it is because it's digital, and that is A Cup of Salt Tears by Isabel Yap. This is available on Tor.com. Tor is a sci-fi fantasy publisher, in case you somehow don't know that, and they have a bunch of short fiction available on their website for free. It's awesome. That's how I read Burning Girls by Veronica Chenoz, which I read during the Booktubeathon, and I liked that quite a bit. I think that actually The Witch of Duva and The Tailor are also on the Tor.com website, maybe? I don't know. There'll be links to all of the things that you can get online in the doobly-doo. So A Cup of Salt Tears is just something like a Goodreads threw at me and says, if you like this, then you might like this. And pretty much all I know about it is Japanese mythology. There's it's about a Japanese sort of folk monster. And yes, please. Then I will be listening to an audiobook of The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I'm getting this audiobook for free from LibriVox. Links below. I know The Yellow Wallpaper is a classic, and I think it's about a woman who has an abusive husband or something and is locked in a room with yellow wallpaper, and she starts to see things in the wallpaper, and it starts to move, and she's just basically going insane. And one of my great reading philosophies is that if you are a questionably sane young woman living in a creepy old house, please tell me about yourself. So all of those meet both the ebook or audiobook challenge and the under 200 pages challenge. Then the graphic novel that I'm going to be reading is Blue is the Warmest Color by Julie Marot. This was originally in French. I was kind of hoping I would get my act together enough to find a French edition, but it's on Scribd in English, and I'm already paying for Scribd, so I'll just read it there. Blue is the warmest color caught my attention because of the art style, so I don't really know that much about the story. It's an interesting sort of gray scale, it's like sepia if sepia was blue influenced instead of orange influenced. Now moving into physical things that I can actually show you. There were 2 books that were on my TBR for the summer cramathon that I didn't get to, so I'm going to try to do them now. The first one was Ovid's Heroides. This is, it's classic, but I'm not going to read it in Latin. This is a set of poetic letters written by the women of classical mythology to their associated man. So you've got like Penelope to Ulysses, Medea to Jason, Briseis to Achilles, Dido to Aeneas, of course. And then I also have Liesel and Poe by Lauren Oliver, which is about a girl with a wicked stepmother who is locked in the attic and then makes friends with a ghost boy-girl. And also there's a student of alchemy, and adventures ensue. And then, since it's about to be Christmas, I thought I would read something Christmassy, so for my bind-up, I have the Nutcracker and Mouse King, which is by E.T.A. Hoffmann, and The Tale of the Nutcracker by Alexandre Dumas. Hoffmann was originally writing in German, Dumas originally writing in French. This is in English. So this is a story about a young girl named Marie. I actually checked in both versions she's named Marie. I thought in the German version she was named Clara. I'm not sure where we got the name Clara. But anyway, there's this young girl named Marie, and it's the Christmas party, and she has like a crazy inventor godfather who slash uncle, they may be different in different ones, and he comes with like all of these cool Christmas presents for everyone else, but then she doesn't get one and she's sad, but then it turns out that he made her the specialist, which is this nutcracker, which then her brother breaks, and she fixes it because she loves it. And so then she wakes up in the middle of the night and goes back down to the parlor or whatever room, only to find that like she is shrinking and things are coming alive, the toys are coming alive, and the mice are also coming alive and are evil, and so there was a great battle between the toys and the mice, and then they go to Candyland afterwards. And then there is the challenge for finish a series. For that, I'm going to try to finish the Witches sub-series of the Discworld series by reading Masquerade, finishing Masquerade, and then reading Carpe Jugulum. I'm a little bit more than halfway through Masquerade. Masquerade is Terry Pratchett's take on the Phantom of the Opera, and Carpe Jugulum is Terry Pratchett's take on kind of vampires in general. Like, it's not really following Dracula. And I might be able to finish Masquerade this week before the cramathon starts, but I definitely will not get through Carpe Jugulum. And then if I finish all of that, then I will be a god. But I also have the first 3 books of the Fairyland series by Catherine M. Valente, which are, oh boy, here we go. The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making, The Girl Who Fell Beneath Fairyland and Led the Rebels There, and The Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in Two. There's also a prequel novella that you can get online, The Girl Who Ruled Fairyland, at least for a little while, I think. These are middle grade stories about a girl who goes to Fairyland and presumably has adventures, and I'm guessing that there's a dragon because there is a dragon on the cover. So yeah, I do have 16 items on my TBR, however 6 of them are like basically short stories, and then a bunch of them are poetry or graphic novels or middle grade, which I can get through pretty fast, and then my only real proper novels are Masquerade and Carpe Jugulum, and I'm already more than halfway through Masquerade. So I think maybe I can do it. Maybe. I'm not sure about Fairyland, but I think I can do everything else. And of course, I will be doing daily vlogs during the cramathon, which means you guys will get to come into the city with me to see Pericles, because I'm ushering the Folgers production of Pericles on, let's see, Saturday afternoon. I was thinking about counting Pericles as a book that I've read, because I'm technically listening to all of the words being said. It's basically an audiobook to go see a production of a play. But then I was like, no, down that way, madness lies. So, not gonna count Pericles. Unless for some reason I'm not able to get my 100 books by the end of the year, then Pericles totally counts.